Let's talk Alabama recruiting. Nobody I'd rather talk Bama with than the great Tim Watts. Alabama has a big visit weekend this weekend. Maybe not in quantity, but definitely in quality. And we're looking at Georgia commitment Demarcus Riddick. The 4-star linebacker will be in Tuscaloosa this weekend. The number 3 ranked linebacker in the country. Now, there was some optimism coming out of Riddick's visit to Georgia 2 weeks ago that the Dogs were going to hold on to him. But now he makes his official visit to Alabama. Tim, what are your sources saying on Demarcus Riddick?
Very interesting, recruitment. Georgia did a terrific job of getting in there early, offering him, committing him. I think there were some Georgia fans close to him, so they did a good job. Alabama and Auburn have did an equally good job scrambling and getting back in the recruitment. He took his official visit to Georgia. Of course, he had a great time. Kirby knows how to roll out the red carpet. Went to Auburn, had a good time, and now he's coming to Alabama. I think right now, I know Georgia wants to hold on to him. Auburn and Alabama obviously made him a top priority. I still feel like Bama's did a good enough job, and they're set up about where they wanted to be heading into this official visit. And after this, it's my understanding it's going to be his last visit. He's got a decision coming on July 26th, I believe, maybe his mom's birthday. So this is kind of going to ramp up here a little bit. He has a few weeks to think about his 3 visits, and that's back to back to back. And that's probably there's probably a lot going on with those 3 schools, because that's a lot of effort putting in visiting all 3 of those schools. But I think Alabama's in a pretty good shape right now. They're in the shape they want to be coming in and trying to close this out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like you said, coming off these 3 visits, decision coming soon. Now, it's not all flips to Alabama. There's actually some Alabama commitments that are looking around. Linebacker Sterling Dixon is one of them. Last weekend, he took an unofficial to rival LSU, and he's also been to Auburn a few times this spring. Tim, how much concern is there over the possibility of losing Dixon to one of these SEC rivals?
I mean, he says the right things to the Alabama staff, but, heading into his visit, I had some people telling me LSU was going to be the choice. And then 2 weeks before his commitment in December, Alabama had talked to him and sealed it up, so he committed. But he's always been a guy that took visits. I think when I looked into the On3 database, he had been to Alabama 8 times, LSU 8 times, and Auburn 8 times. So, he obviously likes those 3 schools, doesn't mind taking visits. That's way more than I could ever take. But, again, I know he likes the LSU program. I believe he has a lot of fun there. But with Alabama, I do know, especially people close to him, and Sterling said it himself, he likes that mindset. He likes that come in, play 3 years, get your degree, play for a national championship, and go in the first round mentality that they have, very businesslike. So, of course, if you like that, you want to have a good time, there's no better place than Baton Rouge. It's fun. So I see the attraction for both of them. This is his first official visit. I'm sure Alabama's going to try to lock him down and answer any questions he has. And then LSU, Auburn will probably try to get him for a official visit during the season.
Yeah, he seems like he's really enjoying himself this spring and summer, and I don't blame him. Now, what about commitment Jaylen Mbakwe? Now, this is what happens. Alabama tends to get the best players on their commit list early, and other teams are going to try to take a swipe at him. Mbakwe's the number 1 athlete in the country. He's been talking to Auburn. Do you think this is just a little summer flirtation, or is there something more to it?
No, I think these kids, there's a lot of, I think they build relationships with schools that whether they end up there or not with the coaches. He's been a heavy Alabama commitment. He's recruited kids for Alabama. There's been rumors of taking him visits, and he hasn't actually did it. So I still think he's firm right now. Auburn's going to put, full court press, play early, that whole situation. You can understand they're, trying to keep him in the state as well and battle Alabama. But Alabama, when Nick Saban was first at Alabama, he said, if you shop, we shop, and that sort of got played into Alabama doesn't let their kids take visits. But if you watch their commitments, their top targets, they take visits all year. Caleb Downs' visit last year had everybody upset. He went to Ohio State for the Michigan game late, ended up at Alabama. They let their kids take visits. They don't try to shut them down.
No, you're right. The headliner of the weekend, though, is 5-star edge Colin Simmons, and this will be Alabama's chance to host him on an official visit. 2 weeks ago, he was in Nashville. He told me LSU and Texas were his co-leaders, but that was right before he took these official visits. Alabama heading into the weekend, sort of on the outside looking in right now, I would say. What do you think they need to show Colin Simmons this weekend to improve their position with him?
I think it's just that, that red carpet treatment we always talk about. Alabama certainly knows how to, the big schools know how to host an official visit. You don't hear many flaws when you talk about Alabama or Georgia, Ohio State, and there's plenty of other schools that know how to do it. Alabama certainly perfected that official visit. He'll get one-on-one time with the defensive coordinator, with Nick Saban. He usually takes a big stance on that weekend with those top guys. So he'll get time with him and see where he fits in, and all those questions that he probably has. Alabama signed some edge rushers last year, led by Keon Keeley and Yanze Pierre, favorites in the entire class last year. So they'll get a chance to answer those questions and just show them what it's about. I mean, it's when a kid hasn't taken a visits, I really don't worry too much about his favorites, because he doesn't know. He doesn't know what Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Tennessee, Texas is about. Once he gets on campus, builds that relationship, sees what the campus is like, the nightlife, I think that's more of a chance where we'll get where he knows what he wants to do.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what Colin Simmons says coming out of this one, because everybody's pegging him towards Texas, LSU. But right now, I think his recruitment is really wide open. All right, Alabama is currently sitting at third in the On3 industry rankings. Tim, BamaOnline, you guys are going to be busy this weekend. You guys go check it out. Have you covered all weekend long with the official visit scoop. Thanks for joining the Inside Scoop today, Tim.
I appreciate you guys having me.
See ya.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.